Sahith, how would you characterize the round today?
Man, I hit it really, really well. Probably one of my best ball striking rounds on tour, and I don't think I made a putt outside of, I don't know what the stats are, but my longest putt I made was on 2. Might have been 6, 7 feet. Had a bunch of really good looks that I hit good putts and just didn't go in. But that's golf. You can't. I mean, nobody's. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. Some of these top guys do, but not everything clicks. And I striped it today, and just had so many good looks, which I feel like is hard to do out here. So that was a great feeling.
Is there something that you've been working on that maybe kind of clicked today in your swing?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I made a ton of cuts in a row, and then I missed 3 in a row. But those 3 cuts I missed in a row were the best I've driven it all year. I've really driven it pretty poorly till then. And I've continued that the last couple weeks. I've driven it really well, and the rest of my game kind of came back and started to click again. So, yeah, I'm just gonna stay patient and keep that driver in play.
Sahith, good playing out there. There's a lot of math and projections and all that going on, and I think you're 31st. How hard is it to ignore all that stuff, or do you actually pay attention to it?
Yeah.
With the cutoffs being different this year, going from 125, starting at 70 now, down to 50, down to 30, and then with those 8 signature events that you're already in, does it looks more intense competitively because the stakes are higher and the cutoff numbers are different?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what it feels like from the inside.
I would agree with that. It felt really intense that end of the season, with it being 70 instead of 125. I think it's easy to lose sight of how good guys out here actually are, how good an average tour guy is. So you have a good season and you finish, and you find yourself in the mid-60s, mid-70s going to the last few events. It's like, wait, I gotta have a couple great weeks just to make the playoffs. So it definitely feels a little heightened sense of intensity. And even last week, those guys on the bubble to 70 to 50, they know how important that is getting to those signature events. So, those guys that just missed out are, I'm sure, really, really bummed, and the guys that snuck in are really pumped. So, it's definitely a little bit different than last year. Last year, it felt, because there were so many people getting cut off each week, that it didn't quite. Guys that were 123rd going to the top 70, it was like, I can't really make it, but it feels completely different this year.
With that in mind, Sahith, when the margins are so small, how do you kind of measure growth or improvement in your game?
Yeah, it's interesting because all I've really tried to do the last 2.5, 3 years since I've turned pro is just to get a little bit better. I haven't been very results oriented, and I feel like I am. It's tough to gauge exactly by comparing. I think you can only go off of what your past self is and compare it to what your present self is, because I feel like the game of golf is, the guys are playing as good as they've ever played, and the game's just going to continue to get better and better. So I'm trying to avoid a little bit comparing, because sometimes I look at some of these guys, top 10 guys in the world, and I got to play with more of them this year, and I'm just like, man, I got a ways to go, which in a good way is a really good feeling. I feel like I've a lot of progress to be made too still.
When you compare your game, though, how do you think you're a better player now than this time last year when you're also kind of in a similar spot? Yeah, I think physically I'm in a lot better shape. I think every year out here is a learning experience, and I have a lot more energy this year coming to the playoffs. Last year I was really, really gassed, and I'm a little bit stronger, and mentally I feel like I'm just learning little things, whether it's intangibles, definitely a lot of intangibles. But yeah, I think all you can do is kind of grow in that regard and practice is whatever is best for you, and hope you get the most out of it. Sometimes you could be practicing the hardest you've ever practiced, and the scores could be getting worse. But just to know that you are making progress and you're going towards the right direction. Kind of use the Kobe/Max Homa thing where you're chiseling at a rock and you hit it 100 times, but it's the 101st time that it breaks, but it's the 100 hits before. So that's been something I've kept in my mind too, because I feel like I got better, but I had a little bit of a tough stretch in the middle of the season here, and just kind of reminded myself that.
You called it one of your best ball striking rounds. I assume that includes the second shot on 14?
Yes. I really hit it well today. I mean, I hit a couple iron shots out here where maybe just because of the course and knowing you can't short side, where I thought I hit a good shot and it's 40 feet, you know. But yeah, it was very relatively stress-free. I hit a ton of fairways, which again is the most important thing for me. Probably hit 9 or 10 fairways, which is huge. And yeah, just kind of hit it in spots where I'm supposed to, except 6. I hit it into the people right at the green, but I forgot about that shot. But no, it was a lot of good stuff out there.
Do you feel like you're part of the captain's pick conversation?
Honestly, I don't even want to speak for that, but I just feel like I was at some point for sure, and I haven't played well the last, I don't know, 3-4 months, call it. And the team is going to be so good, and it's going to be tough to pick. But I have full faith in Captain Zach that he's going to make the right picks and get the right guys going. But I think I'm quite a bit on the outside looking in. Maybe I can do something really cool the next couple weeks to put my name back in the hat there. But yeah, I really haven't been thinking much about that.
Just noticed you have a lot of family here following you around. Can you just tell us who's all here for you and how special it is to have them all supporting you?
Yeah, I haven't even really looked, but it's just my parents, one of my cousins, and my brother right now, and then a couple family friends. One of my mom's best friend lives in Chicago, so she'll be down. One of my girlfriend's best friend lives here. One of my best friends live here, so they'll all be here the next few days, which is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, they haven't been out in full forces in a while, so it'll be a lot of fun this week to have them all out. Cool.
Seth, what was the club on Sahith?
It was a 9 iron.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great play, brother.